Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare, better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to Wine,
Why Not? A queer podcast.
episode 174.
I got so discombobulated there for a second because I was way lower in my chair than the microphone, and I was like, oh, let me fix that. And then I saw the countdown. I was like, oh, crap. And I'm like, anyway. Now I'm way higher than you. Should I lower myself?
Around as the countdown was going. I was like, oh, shit, what's he doing? Where's he going?
Reminds me of somebody I once met.
You want me to go lower? Here, we'll go. How's that?
Oh, there you go. I felt like I was sitting way higher than you. None of this needed to be done in the testing phase.
No.
It's better.
We want.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we want everyone to see.
Yeah, and we learned from that one guy that it's best to do it live.
Doing it live.
How could I forget his name?
Bill O'Reilly.
Oh, yeah, because that's what happens when you get fired. You're irrelevant.
So
Just
much
kidding,
irrelevancy.
Bill. I know he's listening.
So 174.
Yeah, we got a big show, so we'll just
hop
right
into it. All right, so I got a couple of things. Nothing exciting. Nothing. Sorry. I just got a friend's request from Caitlin on my brand new secret Facebook.
Brand new secret Facebook. Ones and ones of people just learned about it.
All right, so 174. I thought this was interesting because, you might want to go to Miami one day. If you take a Boeing 747 airliner, it takes about 174 minutes to fly from New York City to Miami. Now, before you ask, it does not say which airport. So it might be JFK, it might be LaGuardia. There might be a difference of a minute or there, but roughly 174 minutes to get from New York to Miami. So
it costs $174 per mile.
Oh, with these fuel prices, I'm not surprised.
I mean, come on. And I have so much flying I have to. I tried to delay, because I kept hearing that the war was going to be over in 2 weeks. So I kept delaying every 2 weeks to get tickets to go to the ANN conference in July. I finally had to cave.
Yeah, and buy the tickets.
They're expensive.
Yeah. My niece's wedding is in July. Oh, excuse me. And I was doing the same thing. I was kicking the can. And finally I was like, I got to buy this ticket because I don't think this war's ever going to end.
My niece is getting married. This is so embarrassing. Not that she's getting married. She's getting married, and she sent out save the date cards. And the save the date card, it was like, it's in October, and it was October something, like October. It said like Friday, October 15th or something like that. And I'm like, October 15th is a Thursday. So I call my mom or texted my mom. I was like, did they know this save the date is wrong? And so there's this whole like, what did it say? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there doing it. And then Dylan off to the side is like, it's 2027, right? I was like, never mind. I was wrong.
Those years will get in the way when you're trying to figure out dates.
No, and I know my brother's listening to this right now. He's probably going to text me and be like, you're an idiot.
Another 174. You a fan of the Beatles?
I am. They did write one or two really good songs.
One or two? More like 400. I don't know. They wrote 174 songs. No, the Beatles famously played 174 shows at the Cavern Club in Liverpool between 1961 and 1963. It is the legendary residency that helped launch them to global stardom.
Now, when you say they famously played 174 shows, like, does that mean everybody knows this fact? I mean, they do now.
I think Beatle fans know that this is what the residency that really made them take off.
I gotta tell you, like, there are some, like, okay, Let It Be is one of my favorite songs ever. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the version from the movie. What was that movie Julie Taymor
Across the
directed?
Universe.
Across the Universe. Great, great version there. And I love it, like every version of it, right? And of course, you got to love Hey Jude. But outside of that, I can't say. No, the one that Bette Midler did in For the Boys. You know what I'm talking about? In My Life, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Oh, I forget. Someday, somebody. I can't remember. There was a music box when I worked at a. This is going back like 30 years. I worked at a magazine subscription plant, and they used to give free. Remember when you would order a magazine, you get a free gift with a year subscription. There was a home and garden magazine that would send music boxes, and my job was to put the little cards in the magazines. I would file them away because they would keep them for 10 years after you fill them out and send them in. But next to us was the department where they sent the free gifts, and the free gifts would get sent back all the time because people were like, I don't want your fucking free gift. And then they would have to process them in. So there were like hundreds of these music boxes. So they would let us take stuff. They were like, yeah, you can take whatever you want from that bin over there. So every couple of days, my family would get free shit from the magazine place. And my mom had got a music box that played a Beatles song, and it Someday, Somebody, I can't remember. It's a famous song. And now that I was going to say, I like that song, and the name has escaped me.
There are Beatles fans that are so irritated with us right now.
I know. But it was a cute little music box. Something by the Beatles.
Are you
Anyway, it's a good
saying that's
song.
the
I like
name
that
of the
song.
song? Or are you saying it's something by
That's
the Beatles? Also,
That's what the Google says.
I have
It's
a
called
question.
Something.
You get a free gift with purchase, and you
Yeah.
don't want it, and you go through the trouble of sending it back.
Most of them, they would just write return to sender and put it right back in the mailbox.
That's so
Yeah.
weird. What do they think they're gonna have
It's
to pay
very
more
weird.
for it? Just keep it. Give it to a friend.
I don't know. And it's weird because you would think, one here or one there. We would get hundreds of the things back. One of the magazines we worked with was Rolling Stone, and one of the gifts they sent was the history of rock and roll, like a hardcover book, and we got tons of those back. Everybody I knew got a history of rock and roll by the Rolling Stones for Christmas one year, because I was just like, here, they're free.
Now, there was one time that I got a free gift and I wanted to give it back and I couldn't. And now I no longer have an Apple phone because they made me keep that YouTube album. I was like, you can take it back. No. That and the stock market app. I don't need the stock market app. I mean, now I could use it, but back then I was like, I don't need this.
I hear you. All right, next 174. Are you a fan of the Alien movies?
I mean, I will watch them now, maybe, yeah. Now that they're old.
Well, Alien 3, which came out in 1992, was not 174 minutes. But it was David Fincher's first film, and it got panned by the critics. Fans didn't like it. And there's a whole backstory if you go down a deep dive on what happened with Alien 3. It was a lot of studio interference, but they let him do a director's cut called the assembly cut, which is 174 minutes. And Alien fans have considered that the superior definitive version of Aliens 3 and is the only one they say you should watch.
Huh, that's interesting.
And then my final one, I have no idea who came up with this, how they did it. I don't have this kind of time, but apparently they do. But the survival horror game The Last of Us, which spawned that big show on HBO. Great game. I love it. I played it. I did not know this fact because I did not have this kind of time, but somebody counted at the end of the game. If you haven't played the game or seen the show, spoiler alerts. But at the end, when Joel grabs Ellie and takes her from the hospital, the operating room where they were going to operate on her, to the car, he walks 174 steps to get her through the hospital. I don't know who counted that or how they came up with that, but if you go from the bed to the car, it's 174 steps.
Huh.
So if you're playing that game, just know you just have to make it 174 steps and you save Ellie. Can you do it? Go. So yeah, so I love the game. Never counted the steps, but it's great. You should watch. You should play it. The first season is very, I mean, by the numbers of the game. So it's a good, except for the third episode, which is the greatest episode with Frank, and I forget the other guy's name, but the gay episode. They
Oh
changed that
yeah,
for the
that's a
show.
good one. Episode 3,
Yeah, it's a good episode.
season 1.
Episode 3, yeah, very good, very good. And the last one I got is Pokemon 174. It is Igglybuff, which is the unevolved version of Jigglypuff, which apparently is a really popular Pokemon. It's like a small pink bipedal balloon-like Pokemon, is what Google describes it as. I have a couple of little cool factoids about it. Cool is in the eye of the beholder, so you might not find these cool. But his body can turn pink when the temperature increases or when it sings. It turns pinker the more it sings. Rather than walking, it bounces like a ball to move around. And its body is extremely soft and elastic. And Igglypuff's move secretes sweat with a sweet fragrance, which calms the emotions of its foes. So there you go. A sweet, sweaty, bouncing ball of a Pokemon.
What an interesting thing.
Yes.
I get pink when I get warm too.
Igglypuff or Pokemon itself.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. It's fascinating.
The whole thing. Like, oh, here, I'm going to calm down my enemies. Here's some sugar smell.
Here, smell my pits.
I mean, if that was the case, I might be a pit licker if it was sweet.
Oh, where did we just end up? As they say on TikTok, I didn't place this brick.
Oh, is that what they say? One of my favorite things that people do on comments on videos is when they're like, "What did I watch that put this in my feed?" That always makes me laugh. Well, that's all interesting stuff. I've got a couple of things.
Let's hear 'em.
Here are some TV shows that are exactly 174 episodes. I'm going to just pronounce these the way that I think they should be pronounced.
Of course.
Cara Sucia.
Exactly.
Sure. It's a popular Venezuelan telenovela. 174 episodes. Jesus and Mero. Now, this is interesting.
Oh, yeah, I love
you know
that
them?
show.
Do you
No.
really?
No.
I was like, oh, because it's a Showtime. It was like a Showtime late night talk show from 2019 to 2022. And it was hosted by a Bronx duo. I'm just pronouncing this like I said, like I want. Jesus Nice and the kid Miro. But it came to an abrupt end because they split. They just had a falling out.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
We'll talk more about this when we get into our weeks, but your pronouncement of those names reminds me of when I went to the taco truck on your corner and I asked the young boy in the truck for his tacos carnitas. And he looked at me like, okay, white boy, I'll get your taco carnitas.
Well, how else do you say it?
I don't know, because he looked at his mom, who I'm assuming was the one cooking. By the way, amazing tacos, if you haven't tried them yet. And he spoke Spanish, and it sounded more exotic when he's like exciting. Like he was like, carnitas. Or I can't roll my tongue. But he sounded cooler when he said it. I was like, can I get your carnitas?
Did you push your glasses up like that when you did it?
I was pushing my glasses up.
Did I say that? Do you know what's funny is I always say, like, I'm not into tacos. People will always say, like, oh, let's go to this taqueria, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. What do they call it?
Is that what it's called? A taqueria?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think so.
All right.
And I'm like, no, I don't like tacos. I don't like tacos. And then somebody says, hey, let's get Chipotle. I'm like, okay. And they're like, what do you want? I'll have the tacos. I just don't consider those tacos. Maybe it's, yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm weird. Okay, so then we've got Girl Meets Farm, hosted by cookbook author Molly Yeh. That was 175 episodes.
I don't know who that is, but I have heard gays scream, Molly, yay.
Oh, yeah. Well, when they get some.
Yeah.
You know. So I know I've told this story,
these
right?
lights in the studio are very hot.
I told you the story about my mom going to the park, right, with my niece, when she was my niece Molly. she went to the park with Molly, and she took a picture at the bushes at the park, and then she posted that picture online, but she tried to take a selfie, but it was just her face in the sky. So Molly wasn't anywhere there, and so the post said, "Having fun in the park with Molly."
Molly.
And all of my friends were like, "Is your mom doing drugs in the park?"
Wow, your mom's cool.
Oh man. Oh god, I love it so much. All right, so there's another TV show. How did they do that? How did they do it? It was on Hulu for 174 episodes, but that one like depends on what streaming network you get as to how many episodes
Yeah.
it really was, but we're going to go with that. So here we
Is
go.
that kind of like how it was made? Because I used to watch that show I
I
love
think
that show.
so. How do they do that? How do they do it? I think yeah, I think it was like how it was made. Dylan used to watch that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun show. It's like one of those things when you got a weekend where you're not doing nothing, and like TLC or something's running a marathon. You just throw it on, you kick your feet up on the couch, you play on your phone, you order in all weekend.
I mean, you watch one episode of that, you're watching 10 or 15 episodes of
Yeah.
it. It's like that fucking 600-pound live show.
Yeah, or
Sucks my
Mythbusters.
life.
When
Oh.
about 2 decades ago, when I was with my partner Jeff, we used to we just kick it on the couch for a weekend and watch Mythbusters and order pizza.
There's this one 600-pound life that's got two brothers on it, and they're just the most obnoxious. I mean, there's so many
Oh,
words I want to use to describe them, but they're so obnoxious, and I hate them. And they have, and each episode is 2 hours long, and they have 4 episodes
Yeah.
about them, and I've watched every one of them. Finally, I looked up what happens to them. I was like, I'm not watching one more minute of them. They're awful people, and so thankfully, I read about them, and I don't have to watch them anymore.
spoiler alert! What happened to them?
The one I don't know why this makes me laugh, but one guy got married and moved up north, but he's still a I'm surprised he married a woman. I mean, you were watching it. Did you think they were both gay? Well, one of them was
Oh,
certainly gay,
they
but no.
they acted very gay, very gay.
My
But they
gaydar has been
acted like
off
spoiled,
lately.
entitled brats.
Yeah, they were like children.
So were they gay or were they entitled brats?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I was watching like the we'll get to this later because we're gonna talk about the Tonys, but I was watching the Tonys and I was watching the Act One, that didn't get
Yeah.
broadcast. And like all these people were getting up and thanking their wives. I was like, well, you have a wife? What?
What?
Darren Chris still has a wife? What?
Yeah.
So all very interesting to me. Friends, 174th episode of Friends. I do have to preface this with it is one of my it's one of my favorites. I just love it.
Let's see. Season 8. We just found out who the father is. So is this the one with the sonogram?
No.
No.
Now before the sonogram.
What
So
was
we know
before
who
the
the father is. This one is
Yes.
about how the baby was made.
Oh, with the tape.
Yeah, the one with
one
the
with the
video
tape.
It's so good. So
I love when he gets it to Rachel and she goes to break it and to stomp on it, and everybody's like, no. We want to watch
Isn't
it.
that one of the bloopers? Like one of the famous
Yeah.
bloopers that they play because they all are like, "Ah!" and then they start laughing. It's great. The whole storyline of this is great, but also the subplot is so good. It's the one where Chandler and Monica get back from their honeymoon and they met Greg and Jenny on the plane or on their honeymoon and they like that's such a great time with them, and so they want to hang out with them when they get back to the city, and Greg and Jenny gave them a fake number because they didn't want to hang out with them. Cracks me up because the whole thing is like they're like, you were delightful, you were so funny, and you were interesting. How could they not like us? Of course they loved us. And then like the longer it goes for them to get back to them, it becomes like Monica's
They
like,
start
well,
blaming each other.
yeah. Monica's like, well, you did tell a lot of jokes, and he's like, me, you asked so many questions, and blah blah blah. So then Chandler cracks a joke about Monica. This is one of my favorite lines of the show ever. He cracks a joke about her, and she goes, "Was that another joke?" And then he goes, "Was that another question?" I love it. So, what do I want to say about this? Just a couple of quick facts because we have a lot to talk about. It's interesting because there's a lot of flashback scenes in this where Ross is talking to Joey because he hasn't had sex in a long time, and he's asking for advice on ladies, and they ask him, "If you ever have any problems with the ladies and need advice, come to me." And then Joey laughs, like, "Why would I ever have?" Later in
Yeah,
that season, he did because he fell in love with Rachel, and he had to go to Ross to get
he
advice.
did. Yeah.
The other weird thing about this is so the whole thing in the episode before, or the one with the sweater, is Joey keeps saying, or Joey says, "Yeah, she was with some dude all night, and then this sweater was left at the apartment, and I have no idea whose sweater it was." Well, in this, if that's the sweater he was wearing, in all the flashback scenes, most of the flashback scenes are between Joey and Ross is wearing
Yeah.
the red sweater all day long. So he should have immediately, but I
Yeah.
guess it's
I think
Joey.
I think that just speaks to how oblivious Joey is
Yeah.
to what's going on around him.
Yeah, all very fascinating. So this is the I expect you to guess none of these. We could still
Okay.
try to play a guessing game if you want. In fact, I didn't even write down the plot of the movie. It's a Japanese movie by Ozu from 1949.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
it's called Late
No.
Spring. It's
Ah,
about a
yes.
widowed woman taking care of her father. So here we go. This is this 174th greatest director of all time. Between 1915 and 1959, he directed over 100 films. Such classics as the 1925 Lazy Bones, 1927 Seventh Heaven, and 1931 Bad Girls. I think he did like silent movies and made his way into the talkies once those hit. Um, Frank Borzage.
Oh, no. Never heard of the film, never heard of the director. We finally reached that point where I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That had to have happened sooner than today.
I mean, there were a few. There was the French region where it was all French
Right.
directors. Didn't know any of them. And then, when I had the flu and I couldn't remember anything, so you were like, "Oh, you know this movie," and I was like, "Oh, I
Oh,
know that
yeah.
movie, but I don't remember who directed it." And it turned out it was some guy I should have known. For shame.
So tell us, I mean, last week you gave
Oh,
us
yes.
this saga, this unexpected, crazy saga of life. So I'm sure people are dying to know how was your week?
My week. Oh, my week. Yeah, I imagine that our listeners are divided into two camps. Those who are concerned for my well-being and who are tuning in to find out that I am safe, and those who rooted for my downfall and are tuning in to hear how much further can he fall.
Now I just want
well-
to name a bunch of names, and I want you to tell me what camp they're
Category
in.
1 or category 2? So for those who are rooting for my downfall, things are rough, but I ain't dead yet. Okay, so when I last left you, I had just been in a hotel because the city of New York had sent me to the abandoned psych ward of Bellevue Hospital, where I spent the most terrifying night of my life, and I needed to pamper myself in a hotel room. So I used my last $75 to get a room.
Okay, so just real quick.
Yeah.
I know what hotel rooms in New York City cost. You found a room for $75 and it was less scary than
Yes.
than
And the
Bellevue.
reason, and this is for those who are coming to New York, because I looked it up initially for Saturday night, but they were like $200-$300. So hotel rooms for Friday and Saturday night in the city through the roof. Sunday night, dirt cheap. And I think it's because everybody flies home on Sunday who are here for vacation. Like, oh, we're going to fly home on Sunday. All of the hotel rooms that I looked at were, I wouldn't say dirt cheap, but were cheaper than what they were the days previous.
Wow.
And I stayed at, it's called the Da Vinci Hotel. It's over near Columbus Circle. It's an old hotel in an old building. There's no frills. Like, there was no coffee pot in the room. There's no, it's like, And maybe the joy of the room came from where I spent the night prior.
Somebody at Bellevue right now is being like, "We at least gave you coffee."
They didn't.
Yeah, and hepatitis. Thanks.
Yes. What they did give me was a room temperature tuna sandwich and stale potato chips.
Oh my god!
I'm not even kidding.
No.
Yeah, but
was there mayonnaise on it?
I don't know. I took a bite of it. When I realized it was room temperature, I didn't finish it. And then when I went to eat the chips, which were out of the bag, so I assumed they just bought the jumbo bag and like divided it up. They were rubbery, and I was like, never mind.
They got a lot of people to feed.
They did have the apple juices that have like they're in the cup that has the little foil top. And there were slivers of ice floating in it, so they had frozen them. So those were I went through like 3 apple juices. They were delicious. So you graciously last week on air, so you had to do it, offered me a place to stay.
Like, note to self, to anybody else that does a podcast and you want to do something on air, check with your husband first. But no, obviously. I texted him because you were here and you were telling him the story before we were on the air. And so I was in here and listening to this, and I was like floored. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I started texting him, and I was like, we're going to offer him a place, right? Like, this is happening. And he was like, yeah, of course. So there you go.
Yeah. I looked at this past week as just research for the book. I've already got the story up here. I just got to put it down on the page. So I was going to come stay with you, but then for those who are troubled and looking for a place to stay in New York and hoping for a little assistance from the city,
come stay with Rick.
They have some really specific rules. So they have various different housing vouchers that they help people pay rent, because rent is through the roof. And I know some people are like, oh, I'm not a welfare child, and I'm not going to, I don't need assistance. Of anywhere on this planet, New York City should be giving rental assistance to everybody, because what they charge for apartments here is robbery. So there's a bunch of programs. If you're struggling with your rent, I highly encourage you to go through HRA, which is the Housing Reassurance Assistance Fund. I don't know. I don't know what HRA stands for, but check it out. So they have a veterans program, and they're helping me to get a home. But when you're applying for the voucher, you're not considered an urgent case unless you're physically staying in a shelter. So the first 3 days after the podcast, when you had offered me to stay here, I had to go stay in a shelter in Brooklyn, or they would not have processed my voucher. So that's what I did. I packed up my little cart and I pushed it over to the shelter. And as I processed in, they said, oh yeah, you can't have that cart. So they gave me a locker. I put my stuff in the locker, and then I had to go back to Hell's Kitchen, put my cart in my storage unit, and then go back to Brooklyn. I will say the Brooklyn shelter, much better than the intake shelter.
I don't understand. First of all, Caitlin told me my mic was staticky. So I'm going to talk for a second. So if it gets better, just give me a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So why don't they let you take a cart? I don't you don't have a home. Where are you supposed to what do people do?
You just bring what you can bring on your back. Their reasoning was it's too bulky, and if we let everybody bring carts in, there's just going to be too much stuff up there. And I was like,
we don't like clutter.
We're
if
homeless.
You're stuff on the street.
We don't have a lot of stuff, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But I mean, I find that to be crazy.
Me too. It also folds up. I mean, it's in your living right now, but it's off on the side, but it folds up. It's if you have to, it's easy to store away. But they were like, no. And so I said, okay, the last, the insane asylum that I stayed in the other day, they had a closet like in the entryway that I could just stick it in. And they're like, no, we don't have anything like that here. If you can either, there's a dumpster outside. This is what she said. There's a dumpster outside. You can go throw it in the dumpster, or you can take it somewhere else, but you can't keep it here. So I was like,
It's almost like, yeah, we'll help you, but you have to have absolutely nothing.
yeah,
No
they
friends,
want you
no
no
stuff.
friends, no stuff. They want you to crawl in there on your hands and knees and be like, "Oh, please help me. I'm so destitute." Which I did. I played the game. I played by the rules. I crawled in there. I ate their room temperature tuna.
Jesus.
So what the nice thing is, the Brooklyn shelter is very clean, and it's set up like a military, like when I went through basic training. So it's 18 beds in this big open bay. It's a bed and a locker, almost exactly like basic training. So in my head, I was just like, this is just basic training all over. And that's what without the yelling. There was no yelling, which I appreciate. When you're homeless and struggling, the last thing you want people to do is yell at you. But other than that, it felt like basic
we don't
training.
even get that here. There's always yelling here
Yeah.
outside.
But at least I can shower here without wearing shower shoes.
You sure about that?
Oh, no. I thought my toes itched. No. So the whole thing, it was, and I feel like they were looking at me weird. I feel like I was like a good Boy Scout. Like I was prepared for the shelter. So you get in and they give you a little Ziploc bag with a toothbrush and toothpaste and deodorant and what else was in there? Wipes, like little antibacterial wipes and hand sanitizer. And I was like, oh, I've got all that stuff. I have my little makeup bag. I have my makeup backpack, my little toiletry backpack.
I can keep my face.
And then she goes, well, we need to give you shower shoes, but we only have size 9, so you're going to have to deal. And I said, it's okay. Keep your shoes. I have size 11, which is what I wear, size 11. I have size 11 shower shoes already. I brought them with me. And she gave me a look every time she tried to give me something. I was like, I have something better in my cart. And maybe that's what it is.
Oh.
Maybe they do allow carts, but maybe I was too smug for her.
Yeah.
I had too much dignity and too much stuff. And she's like, you know what? Your fucking cart can't come in. Get rid of it.
The smug little homo.
Now take this small shower shoes
now what
and
else
this tiny toothbrush and get upstairs.
Like, what else you got in that cart? Nothing, because it's out of here.
So I stayed there a couple of days, got met with the social worker, got my voucher approved, and now I am staying with you in your spare room for now.
Here, in this very location.
In this right behind you. My mother listened to the podcast last week, and I have no she already knew the story before the podcast happened. I called because I knew I was going to talk about it on the podcast. So I called all my family members like, listen, I don't know if you listen to the podcast or not, but if you happen to stumble on this episode, I just want you to know what's going on. But she did call me after she listened to it and said, you're going to like this. She goes, Rick, the nicest person I have ever known in my life. You tell him what a saint he is. And I was like, I will let him know. I will let him know. So I'm letting you know now because I didn't tell you when she told me because I forgot.
Sweet.
But she said, you are a saint.
I imagine it goes like this. He's a nice guy. He says the F word too much, but he's a nice guy.
He's a good man. And then she said that Chris, not so much. So Chris, if you're listening to this podcast, you're on her shit list. I just want you to know.
And I'm
For
sure
your
you did not
abandonment.
orchestrate that at all.
I'm staying here. I've looked at a couple of apartments in Brooklyn. I think I talked about one that was shown to me. I think I was shown right before we did the podcast last week. I saw the second one. I was waiting for the also, if my broker is listening to this podcast, because I didn't tell him this, please don't go back and yell at this lady. But while I was waiting for him to get there, a lady came out of the building and asked me, she goes, can I help you? Because I was just standing out front of the building, and I appreciated her, her vigilance, being like, are you selling drugs outside of our building? What are you doing here? So I said, oh, I'm waiting for my broker. He's going to show me an apartment. And she said, in this building? And I said, yeah. And she goes, honey, you don't want to live in this building. Me and my family are moving next week. She goes, every one of these apartments where there were people who got out of prison and got a housing voucher. That's who they put in this building. They do drugs in the hallway. They're loud. They're doing all sorts of stuff in those hallways you don't want to be around. And then he walked up
Did
as
you
she was
say,
telling me.
you were like, how do you know? Molly, yay.
She said,
I
you
doubt-
want some?
I
was like,
doubt
"No."
Molly is the drug of choice.
No. She made it seem like if I had syringe needles, I'd feel at home there. She's like, shoot up on the 3rd floor. Let's go. So as he walked up, she was like, well, it was nice meeting you. And she scurried off. And then he's like, who was that? And I was like, that was the neighbor. He goes, all right, let's go look at the apartment. So initially I was like, I don't think we need to look at it. I was like, I don't think I want to live here. And he goes, why? What's wrong? And I was like, she told me. But we went and looked at the apartment anyway. The apartment's nice. I ain't gonna lie. It's a spacious, lots of storage. It's a 1-bedroom. It's on the 2nd floor, so I ain't gotta climb a lot of stairs. And then she said the street itself in the neighborhood is nice. It's just that building. So we'll see by the end of this week. But I might move there. I don't know. It was a nice apartment.
Yeah.
I'll just keep my door locked.
But
and then
we
I
let you bring
found-
your cart here, so you know.
That's true. I appreciate it.
So you might as well stick around until you find something where you don't have to
I-
do drugs on the way to your apartment.
But I can do drugs if I want to.
That's true.
So I did find a tiny little studio on the Upper East Side, 2 blocks from the Met, in like a Sex and the City, Carrie Bradshaw neighborhood, where you go up you got the stoop, and I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. And I saw it. It was a open house. There was 3 of us. The other 2 were like, it's too small for me. And it's on a 4th floor walk up, which I'm used to. They did not seem to care for all the steps. There's no elevator. And I was like, ooh, it's serendipitous. This is meant to be. This is my apartment. She's like, I'll send you the application. You fill it out. I feel like this is your home. And I said, me too, Christine, which was her name, the broker who was showing the place. And then after I sent the information, she sent back, she goes, oh, by the way, I've got 2 other applications. So you're 3rd in line. If they don't sign a lease, then I'll let you know. So one of them dropped out. And then this morning I got word that that lady signed the lease. And that is no longer my apartment. And I'm sad. So I'll see you in Brooklyn. No, I'm just kidding. Or the Bronx. But I did hear back. I reached out to the broker when me and Chris originally moved up here. We used a broker. And I reached out to him and hadn't heard anything. And then finally heard back from him yesterday morning. And he's like, sorry, I was on vacation in Canada and I didn't bring my work phone with me. So I just got your messages this morning. So he's going to meet with me this week, and he promises me he's going to find me a place in the city. So we'll see.
Now,
We'll see.
because
But
you reached out to him, do you have to pay him a broker's fee?
after I heard from him, I sent a message to, because I don't know how this voucher works. So I sent a message to the social worker, and I said, listen, give me a breakdown. Tell me what I need to have on hand, because I know that the voucher covers the rent, and then I'm responsible for 30% of the rent or 30% of my pay. I'm not sure which one, but I'm responsible for 30% of something. But I said, what about security deposits? What about broker fees? What about moving expenses, trucks and movers? I was like, is any of that covered in the voucher? Because I just need to be able to plan how much I need to have on hand cash on my end. And I haven't heard from her. So I sent that as an email, and then I text her because I have her cell number. Didn't hear anything. And then I called her, and I got her voicemail. And her voicemail says, I can't come to the phone right now. If this is an emergency, call my supervisor. And I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm calling supervisors. So I called her supervisor. And I got her voicemail, and she says, I'm out of the office right now. If it's an emergency, call my supervisor. So I called her supervisor.
And Mom Donnie answers the phone.
I got his fucking voicemail. And his did not say, here's my supervisor's number. He just said, leave a message. So all 3 of them have a message of, hey, get back to me.
His said, if it's an emergency, pray.
Yeah. If it's an emergency, head to Bellevue. They have some beds. So I'm working all that out. It's a little stressful. I was on the train this morning heading over to my storage unit because that's my life. I hop on the train in the morning, I go to my storage unit, I get what I'm going to need for the day, and then I lock the door. And I was listening, I had my YouTube music on, and there's this song. I don't know if you watch Peacemaker on HBO, but there's the theme song in the beginning is a guy, and it's a song he's singing to his son about how life is tough and that he's always there with them. And I started to get emotional because my dead father liked rock music, and it reminded me of a song he would have liked. And I'm on the subway, and I'm in my head, I'm like, don't cry. Don't you cry on the subway. And I'm like holding back tears. And I told you this earlier. As I'm holding back the tears, the doors open and a homeless man gets on, and he's like, I am sorry to bother you, but I am very hungry. I am 70 years old, and I am a homeless veteran, and I served in the Navy during Vietnam, and I have been homeless for about 3 weeks now, and I'm waiting on my housing voucher through the VA, and I just need some food. And I was just like, that's my life. That will be me. I will be on a train begging for money. And then people were like, "Oh, bless you. You're an American hero." And then they give him $1. And I wanted to stand up and be like, $1 for an American hero? If you think he's a hero, buy him a fucking dinner or something.
Do you know how
But
much it would cost?
I was not in a position to insult anyone because
You
I
give
don't
him
want to end up
20
in
and
jail.
give me 10. Jeremy, I don't think that's going to be. I don't know how long this process is going to take, but I'm sure it's not going to take 25 years.
Wait a minute. Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry, Ma. Oh my God. I'm going to be 70 in 25 years. That blew my mind. I can't believe I'm going to be 70 in 25 years. I might as well be dead. Anyway.
I mean, I'm going to be 70 in 19. Should I just jump out the window?
Well, you know what? Let's do it together.
All right.
We'll go to the tallest building we can find. We'll play that song and we'll take it.
Do you know, I'm just gonna tell you this story because it's crazy. I was watching this person on 600 Pound Life, and she's very religious, and she's like, I'm not gonna do any of the stuff that you tell me to, because if God wants me to lose weight and get the surgery, then He'll put me on the path to do this, and if He doesn't, He won't. And blah blah blah. So she asks Doctor Now. If you've seen this show, right? So you know who Dr. Now
Yeah.
is. He's just a very blunt person. And so she asked him if you're religious, and he's like, what does that have to do with anything? Do you have some delusion that something magical is going to happen to make you lose this weight? You just don't want to do the work? And she's like, no. And she said that whole thing, like, God will put me on this path if that's what I'm supposed to be doing, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he said, well, go jump off a building and see what path God puts you on. Can you
Holy
believe
crap.
that?
That's blunt.
That's some blunt shit.
I told you that that's Chris's favorite meme to send me when I'm like, hey, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? And he'll send me a picture of that guy looking at me. I know. The signs were there. I knew he would abandon me. Anyway, so you and I watched the Knicks game last night.
We did.
Prior to that, I had to work yesterday. So while we're at work, we get, I don't know if you've signed up, you should sign up for these, you and Dylan, but it's New York City or NYC Now or something like that. It's text notification of what's going on in the city, road closures, if somebody gets hit by a train and they're shutting down lines. They give you, it's text notification what's going on in the city. So we get a notification that certain roads are going to be closed starting at 4:00 because the president was coming into town to watch the Knicks game. So they shut down almost all the things from 30 to here, I wrote it down. 30 to 36, 30th to 36th Street, and then 6th to 8th Avenue, which is Macy's right in the middle of. So they were blocking off certain train stops or subway stops, and they were blocking off certain businesses. There's a deli right behind Macy's that I like to go get a salad at because it's nice and cheap. And they were closed because they had completely blocked that section of 7th Avenue off. So no, all the businesses were closed. It was total chaos. And they kept making announcements where the people going to the game were supposed to line up. So they told them first to line up on 35th and 8th. And then a notification came in. They're being moved to 34th and 7th. So stepped out and looked outside of Macy's, and you saw just this massive crowd moving down the street because it was right in front of Macy's. And then it was like, oh no, you guys are going to go to 32nd and 6th now. And you just saw this Knicks crowd. They were all in Knicks jerseys and had their, foam fingers or whatever the fuck they were bringing. And you just saw them moving through the streets. And when I say I have never seen so many cops in my life, I'm talking there must have been easily 400 or 500 cops surrounding Macy's, putting barricades up. I'm going to get the pictures. People were out there taking photos who worked at Uggs. I'm going to message them and have them send the pictures because it was crazy, the amount of cops. Total chaos. Finally, the game starts. We get off of work. And when I came into work, they had a giant purple carpet laid across the fragrance in the first floor. And they have these signs up, and it says, do you know Kiko? Kiko is Italian. Get Kiko. Learn about Kiko. Kiko. So I went upstairs, and I was like, who is Kiko? Is she like some celebrity who's coming in? And they're like, no, it's a makeup brand that has a new collaboration with Macy's. And Macy's just started selling Kiko brands at the Herald Square store. Now, the brand ambassador for Kiko in the US is Madonna. So rumors start to spread around Macy's while I'm working that Madonna is on her way to Macy's. And I was like, holy shit. Now that's something. Fuck the president and fuck the Knicks. I don't really mean that. I don't mean fuck the Knicks. I love the Knicks. Go Knicks.
Yeah,
But
I was going to say, don't say that here.
I don't want to get beaten down in the streets. But Madonna, I can get behind that. Like, who hasn't? No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Me and Madonna go way back. So Madonna was coming, and she was going to have, initially they were going to film, we're saying she was filming a commercial, but apparently they had a big party there. And guess who was not invited? Macy's people. They were like forcing us out as we were closing, like, hey, wrap it up and get out. And I was like, fuck you, dude. This is my house. But there was like people dressed up like Secret Service, and they were at every entrance, and there were people coming in. I guess the color of Kiko is purple because everything was purple.
It's a good
and
color.
There were like influencers coming in. They were all in purple suits and purple dress, and like, we're going to the party. And it was downstairs in the basement, and
We're
we were
going to have
blocked
a Kiki
off.
with Kiko.
And what sucks is the men's bathroom is in the basement. And I was like, well, I have to go to the bathroom because I wanted to see what the party was like. They're like, you're not allowed down there because you don't have a pass. And I was like, I have a Macy's badge. And they were like, not today. And I had to go all the way to the 9th floor to pee.
Oh,
I was so annoyed.
what a
So
no one has ever had a worse week.
I know, right? So I have deemed yesterday the day of the 3 M's, and that is Macy's, Madonna, and Midtown. All three can go fuck themselves yesterday because they ruined my day.
Madonna's been first of all, I just want to say I wish that everybody could see Caitlin, because when I said we're gonna have a Kiki but Kiko, she rolled her entire face, not just her eyes. Her phone, she was like, ah. Like, that's the most dad of dad jokes he's ever.
Here's the thing, though. She rolled her eyes, but then she started writing, so I think she liked it. She was like, that's actually pretty good. I'm going to write that down.
She wrote it. She's like, he's probably going to want me to say that later so he can laugh at how funny he was.
So funny.
So, like, Madonna must be everywhere, because so here's what happens. So, again, here are 2 of the M's, 2 M's and a G. I had planned to go see Giant on Thursday, and Dylan wanted to go with me, but then this whole job thing he got, and he had to work, and but he thought he didn't know how long he'd be working, because he went in like at 5, and we're like, if you get out at 6 or 6:30 and can get to Midtown in time, then I'll buy you a ticket to Giant and we'll go. So I went to go stand outside of TKTS until in case he called me at 6:30 and said, hey, I could come, then I'd buy his ticket. We'd meet there. When I got on that subway, I have never been in such a crowd. It was packed. Like you couldn't even get to TKTS. You really couldn't cross the streets in Times Square. You had to go down and then turn halfway down, and then the police were there to let you cross the street, and you just kept doing it. It was insane. Like, we were shoulder to shoulder, people moving, and people who wanted to just walk through, who had no idea, like me, that they were walking into, were just getting angry. And they started yelling they're like, cross the street, we're trying to get through. So then I've lived there for 30 years. I turned around and said, can't you see the sign is red? there's a fan out. I
Hey.
can't walk here. And so I'm like yelling at the guy. And he's like, oh, sorry. And then, then some ladies like try to push past me. And I was like, honey, we're all trying to go. So
Mhm.
boom, get away. And it was just madness. It was crazy. So I actually got down to a street. I was like, you know what? Even if he calls and says he's coming, he can either take my ticket and I'll go home, or he's just not going. Like I had to walk to like 6th Avenue and then down 3 or 4 blocks to get across.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
how it was
it
with
was
the
crazy.
Knicks thing. It's crazy, and they don't make concessions for those who don't give a fuck what's going on. We just want to go
Right,
home.
right. Like warn me. Maybe if I had that app, I would have known this. But here's what I
Yeah.
walked down to. I'm walking. I'm on the phone with Jen, and I'm walking into Times Square, and all of a sudden, like every billboard light up is Grinder, and I was like, I've never seen a Grinder ad in Times Square, and now it's all everywhere. And I was like, what's going on here? And so then I see a bus that's got like this big disco ball on it, and like 3/4 naked men dancing on this bus,
Mm.
and I'm just like, what is Grinder doing in Times Square? And then a thing pops up and says, Madonna released something exclusive. So I'm like, okay, so apparently Madonna's releasing some song and it's happening through Grinder and it's all happening right here. So I'm walking through Times Square and there's like this building that's been under construction for a long time. I felt like they were redoing the TV screens above it to play ads,
Yeah.
but apparently they were building a stage. And apparently
Mm.
I was standing underneath Madonna because all of a sudden everyone starts screaming and they're looking at me and they're taking pictures and waving. So I took a picture of all of them thinking like, "Why are these people waving at me?" And then I went, "Oh, she must be right there." And
Yeah.
so that was crazy.
I saw
That's my
when you
Madonna
told me
in
that story,
Midtown
I saw
story.
videos of it on TikTok of her
Did you
dancing
see
up on
me?
that little scaffold. I did not because they were
Uh,
all focused up on the scaffolding she was
uh,
up on. But I thought when I saw it, I was like, Rick is right under there. Rick is. I mean, if she sweats, she's gonna sweat right
See,
down on top
you
of
got
him.
behind her. I got under her.
Ah.
It was a
Oh,
virtual
it's just like
Madonna
the erotic.
menage a
It's
trois.
like the erotica album. What's funny because I love Madonna. I'm a fan of Madonna, but like Chris's boyfriend is like a Madonna, like obsessed Madonna fan. That's the only reason I know this. She's promoting her new album, which is Confessions 2. It's the sequel album to Confessions of a Dance Floor that she
Mm.
put out in the mid 2000s.
I
She's
thought when I
putting out
heard
this
that,
sequel album to it.
I thought, you know what, we didn't have enough. What happens next? And now the answer is
Exactly.
here. Thank you
Yeah.
for Confessions
Um,
2.
because the lead single on Confessions was Hung Up. So the new one is Hang Down. I don't know.
I love
Um,
every song that she's done in a movie. I'm a huge fan
yeah.
of, and I actually liked her in Evita. I know Patty
Can I
LaPone will
say,
stop listening to the show for me saying that, but I enjoyed it.
on my way to the storage unit, I was listening to the Madonna Evita album.
Oh yeah,
I love that album. I love that movie, and I love that
yeah.
album.
High
They're
Flying
very
Adored
Antonio
is one of my favorite
Banderas,
songs on it. Yeah, it's great because it's got Anthony Price in it.
Jonathan Price,
Oh, Jonathan Price. Sorry.
Antonio Banderas, and Madonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
I mean, Antonio Banderas doesn't have the greatest voice in that, but
No, but he's got that Latin sex, like that late 90s Ricky Martin, Enrique Iglesias Latin fire voice that I really dug.
yeah. Well,
I was a big Latin explosion guy.
I'm gonna run through a couple of things. I know we have lots
Yes.
to cover, so I'm just gonna run through a couple of things. If anybody's interested in an update on my house, yeah, me too. I'm interested. I assume I had to pay more money to something today, so I assume an electrician is going there and getting stuff
It's
done. But
getting done.
Jen checks the cameras every day, and I think one day an electrician was out there, but we'll see. But anyway, so I joined Planet Fitness finally. There's a Planet Fitness that's not too far from me, and I was like, let me just
Oh
join
yeah,
it.
I passed by it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I joined it and I went to go there. It has terrible reviews, but we went to look at it and it was like, okay, this can work. It's enough. It's like 3 levels. There's enough stuff here. I can get done something. And I just needed, a place to go and do some sort of exercise. So I joined.
Yeah.
But then I went. So I went yesterday and I think I just need to find the right time to go. It is not 3 o'clock. It was packed full of teenagers. Packed full of teenagers. And I'm just like, oh, this is fun. So, like, I went to go get a sip of water after I was on the treadmill. And there's 3 teenagers standing there drinking out of their water bottles, blocking the way, having a conversation about, the most important things in the world. And I was like, "Excuse me." But then when I went to clean, I had to go get the stuff to clean the treadmill that I was walking on,
Yeah.
and there was another group of teenagers standing in front of all that talking. And one of them went to, like, to press the thing to put paper towels on and then didn't grab them. So I reached through
Oh.
them, ripped them off, never breaking eye contact, and went back and wiped on them. Like, what is happening here? So I was just fed up and left. So I just got to find a good time to go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know. It's like I feel like I've lived here for years, and it's shocking to me that it's been like a week and a half.
Yeah.
I guess almost, but um, just because I feel like I find myself being in that
Yeah.
complaining that people are standing around. Sorry, I had to take a little pause there because apparently they've. So this is very safe. You should don't tell your mom this. Hopefully she will be listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
But the
Well,
front
we'll
door,
clip this part out.
yeah, the front door to the building doesn't lock, so anybody
Yeah.
can just come in randomly. So I guess they just fixed it.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to get one made for you, or you could just call, and we'll
Yeah.
buzz you out. Anyway, what was I saying?
Planet Fitness.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
find a
I
good time
finished
to go.
that. Okay. I think I was talking about like living here. It feels like it's crazy because like just in the amount of times that we walk the dogs around the neighborhood because we walk them like 4 times a day. Did you get like a sense like we've got friends now down the street that sit on their porch and play with the dogs every time I walk by them. They love the dogs and there's like a group of people every night that put up a projector and watch TV up against a store that's closed. It's very sort of like I feel like it's this. I don't know. It's like that whole In the Heights thing. Like, I mean, there's just a lot
Yeah.
of people that are outside all the time, and I guess apartments are so small. You're like, what else are you gonna do? They go downstairs. Like, and the one really cool thing because you mentioned the Knicks game, which by the way, I'm sure these things don't. There's no correlation here, but they were on a 13-game winning streak, and they did lose last night. And the
Mhm.
only difference between this game and all the others is that there was a certain
Trump was there.
person
Yeah.
there. So, but
Mhm.
anyway, people, it's kind of cool because there's a sports bar right at the corner, and so they're playing the game, and then there's people who have it projected up against buildings all around, and like the whole city's just watching the game and being part of this. It's pretty cool thing. So it's kind of cool to be here for all of that. Um, I will say that Becky, who is photoed just over your shoulder there, she hates it. She hates it here.
No.
She's getting used to it though. Like it's just the stairs. She just doesn't want to walk up and down the stairs. She would never take that apartment that you looked at.
Yeah.
And and the noises and she gets scared. She finally started eating regularly. Like she would eat like once every 2 days. But now she's eating twice a day and getting normal. But Amber, surprisingly, I thought it would be the other way. Amber fucking
That's a
loves
city
it here.
girl. That's a city girl right there.
She's like, "What? We're going outside?" And she's running down the stairs, and then she hops up the stairs, and she loves it. It's
She
weird.
gets
We
the
thought it would
corner,
be the
they're
other way
playing
around.
mariachi music, and she's like duckada, 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 and moving her hips.
Yeah. So we're
Just like a city girl.
We're kind of settling into a routine. So we're getting there. We've gotten the Amazon Fresh order thing down. We got our
Isn't that
groceries.
amazing?
It's so
Ugh.
cheap, y'all. It is. Look,
I
listen,
don't understand how the entire city of New York does not.
I don't understand, and I
Just-
know it's terrible to throw money into Amazon instead of buying
Yeah.
local. But when you think about things like a bag of rice cauliflower is like $4.19. That's if you've got the store, your phone number registered with the store. If you don't, it's like
Mhm.
$6.20 for a bag that's $1.54 through Amazon. And let me tell you, you gotta pinch them pennies.
Mhm.
Papa got to see his
Mhm.
Broadway shows. Speaking
Mm.
of, we
Oh.
we saw a lot of shows this week, so I just kind of want to run through them.
You saw more than I did, but yes,
Yes.
it was a
But-
busy Broadway day.
But we'll talk about them together and separately. You want me to talk about the ones I saw without you, and then we'll talk about the ones I saw
Sure,
with
yeah,
you.
go ahead.
Well, there's only
Yeah.
one I saw without you, and that was Giant. And the reason is
Yes.
because we're going to cover the Tonys, so I was going to watch them, and I did, and I went to I had a feeling we had talked about it too. John Lithgow was going to win for Best Actor, and I wanted
Yeah.
to watch it, so I wasn't completely irritated that Nathan Lane didn't win. I don't think anyone was more irritated than Nathan Lane that he didn't win.
He looked. I don't even know if it was because he didn't win. He just looked irritated the whole evening. I feel like he got bad news before this Tonys started.
Yeah.
He just looked really annoyed.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I have to. I get messages, and I just can't. I have to answer the questions. And Caitlin sent me a message, and it's like, because we're gonna bring Danny on to talk about his week, which is
Yeah.
something new for us. And because it was a big week in Central Florida, so he's gonna come on and talk about that. But when we're done talking about our weeks, before we talk about the Tonys, so I went to see Giant, and yeah, John Lithgow is amazing. Like, I
Yeah.
was surprised just how giant John Lithgow really is. He is a very tall man.
He's a tall guy.
And he is
yeah.
super, super good in this. But I did not know. So he plays Roald Dahl, who wrote James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate
Charlie and the Chocolate
Factory,
Factory, Matilda.
Matilda BFG.
Yeah.
He's a children book writer.
Big children. Like, he is the author of a lot of childhoods.
Yeah. And a
Also,
horrible human being.
horrible.
Like a racist, anti-Semitic, crazy. I had no idea what I was getting into. No idea. I just wanted to see it because I heard he was good. I had no idea what it was about. I mean, I knew it was about that guy and that he wrote those books, but I didn't know anything about it. And it was literally jaw dropping. There was like this scene that happened right before intermission, and when intermission hit, the person next to me sort of like looked at me and shook her head like, I know, I'm with you, and like, are you okay? Because I was just standing there like, I can't believe what these people are saying. Just craziness. It also had, I want to point out a couple of people that were in it. Aya Cash, who played Jessie Stone. She was there to sort of handle him into apologizing for being anti-Semitic, and which wasn't going to happen. But she was in the newsroom. I don't know if you remember this, but she played a part of the Occupy Wall Street team, and she was interviewed on the newsroom show by John McAvoy. Is that his name? I forget.
Yes, and she didn't like the way that he treated her.
Right,
Oh,
'cause
yes.
he was
I did not care for her.
Have a and she's also ironically, because she plays a Jewish person who hates anti-Semites in Giant, but she is in The Boys, and she plays a Nazi in The Boys.
Yes.
But she's
Oh, my
very
God,
good.
that is the same person.
Yeah.
I did not connect those
Yeah,
dots.
so that was crazy. So that's the one show that I saw without you. It was very good.
Mhm.
I don't know how long it's going to be on Broadway. If you can get to see it, I think you should see it, just because John Lithgow is really just amazing. As irritating as he is, and as jaw-dropping as the things are that he says, things like, well, I'm sure Hitler had his reasons. It's that crazy. But what we did see together, the first show we saw together was Dog Day Afternoon.
Yes.
Now this has a huge cast, right? Like a lot of famous people in this, so I'm just gonna run through it. John Bernthal from The Walking Dead and The Punisher was in it.
Yep.
Eben Moss, Backrack,
Yep.
Bachrock, however you
The
say that.
hilarious The Bear.
Yeah, from that comedy, The Bear, that everybody loves. John Ortiz, who plays the New York cop, he's from Will Trent. I realized that today. And then Jessica Hecht is in it. She's she's the main teller in Dog Day Afternoon, and she was Susan on Friends.
Susan, yes. And I didn't realize that until intermission, and I was like, holy shit, that's Susan.
Yeah, and Danny Johnson, who was in the TV show Equalizer, I think he plays McCall's father in that. Spencer Garrett, he was the FBI agent, and he's just in like everything. But
he looked, I couldn't pinpoint exactly, but he looked so familiar.
But if you hear, like, he was in Air Force One, he played one of the government officials in Air Force One. He always plays that type of person. Anyway, my opinion, it was a good show. I think that the guy from The Bear, his character Sal, was a little one-dimensional. But for the most part, I was surprised at how funny it was.
Yeah, it's definitely the Bear guy is a supporting role.
Yeah.
It's the show is being pushed as if like they're both the stars. It is definitely a vehicle for John Brunel, and the other guy is like a supporting character. I mean, like the girl who plays Susan, the bank teller, she has a bigger part than the Bear guy does. But yeah, it's based on a movie from the 70s with Al Pacino. I saw it when I was younger. My mom's a huge Al Pacino fan, so we watched a lot of Al Pacino movies when I was a kid in the 80s and the 90s. I don't remember it being that funny.
Yeah.
So I added the humor kind of a little more. They leaned into the humor for the stage show. But it was good. The stage production of it, the way that they moved the set was just phenomenal.
It was crazy good. It
Yeah.
was just like the entire set moved to the side a little, and then all of a sudden you were outside, and then it moved back and you're back
Yeah.
inside because it kept going inside and outside, and it was just the way it was done, brilliant. They did really well.
Yeah.
Now I
So for those who haven't seen it, the reason is because the whole show is this guy and his friend are robbing a bank because they need money for something particular. I don't want to give it away
Yeah.
because it's kind of a surprise in the second act, but they need the money for a specific reason. So it starts outside the bank, and then when they go in the bank, the whole stage kind of pulls forward and rotates. You know what it reminded me of? When you see The Matrix and the camera, how the camera, they
Yeah.
have all those cameras that shoot, and you kind of you watch them frozen kind of turn. That's what the stage show. It was phenomenal. It blew my mind how they
Yeah,
did it. It
really
looked so
good.
amazing.
I will say that too, like the thing where he's screaming Attica and he's riling the crowd
Yeah.
up. So the one mistake that this that this show makes is it uses the audience as the crowd. So when the
Yeah.
crowd is like getting behind him and like, yeah, this guy should rob this bank and he should get his money and he's a good guy, when they're riling up the audience, and there was this drunk kid sitting in front of me who like just was way
Who
too
thought
into
he
it.
was really in the audience watching a bank
He started
robbery.
his fist is in the air and he was screaming and he was like Attica, Attica, but he really got into it, so much so that he just didn't stop yelling at them. And there's this scene
Mhm.
where the cops trying to convince someone to help them talk to this guy and stop him from robbing this bank, and she's like, no, you're pressuring me. And what did he yell?
He yelled
Manipulation.
manipulation. Just
Like,
out of nowhere, we're all watching this scene, we're all quiet, and he just screams manipulation. I'm like, no,
and
you're
then-
gonna be a problem.
yeah, and then he may or may not have died.
Yeah,
Not the
he
character on
slumped
stage,
over
the guy in the chair.
in the audience. Yeah, he slumped over and didn't move. And then as the show ended, we all stood up and applaud. You give him the standing ovation. He still slumped in the chair. And then as we're moving out, people gather around him and are shaking him, trying to get him up. Now, I did see him stir a little bit, so I'm pretty sure he didn't die, but he was not standing when we left that
Yeah.
theater. He was still sitting in
I
that
know.
chair.
Dylan was oblivious to that this was going on. It was like ushering us out, and I'm like, I want to see. It's the show after the show. What happens? So anyway, great show. We saw that. Then we went to see a show called Celebrity Autobiography.
Yes.
And this really it's a very simple plot. It's celebrities reading passages from other celebrities' autobiographies.
Yes. In a humorous manner.
Right. But what's so crazy about it is that they'll take things like like events that happened between two celebrities, and they each wrote about it, and they read the different passages from the different books about the
Yeah.
same event. Or like one thing they did, which was weird, is like a bunch of people talked about food.
Oh, yeah, like if there's a theme
Yeah.
with all these different celebrity autobiographies. And surprisingly, a lot of celebrities write about what they eat every day.
Oh
which
my
is
god.
so weird.
The weirdest one was the guy who read Burt Bacharach's autobiography. And really, like, I don't even know how a book like this gets made. He said, when I go to Mexican restaurants, I eat. Oh no, he doesn't go to Mexican restaurants because he can't handle,
Yeah.
he can't digest it.
Yeah.
But he's like, when I go to Japanese restaurant, and then just lists everything he orders. When I go
He
to an
lists
Italian
everything, and then-
restaurant, lists
But
everything
when
he
I
orders.
go to an Italian restaurant, I eat this, this, and this.
So weird. But these are the names I could remember because I couldn't find them on the website.
Yeah.
Because the date has passed, and so they don't have who was in it in the past. But these are the celebrities that were reading things that night we were there: Ralph Macchio, Gina Gershon,
Yep.
Robert Sean Leonard, Andrea Martin, Mario Cantone,
Yes.
Pamela Adlon, and Eric McCormick. Those are the names that I
Yes.
could remember. And I just got to say, who read Debbie Reynolds at the end? Oh,
That
that was
was,
that lady that's in.
yeah, I can't remember her name. But
She has one
the
show.
funny-
She does like
yeah.
the podcast show or something. That's the show that she's in. She was really good as
Yeah, that was my favorite part because all three of the people, Debbie Reynolds, Eddie Fisher, and Elizabeth Taylor, all have their own autobiographies. So they're reading from each of the autobiographies about the whole affair, which everybody was like the scandal of the century back then. And when I was telling my mom about the show, that because she was, that was her, I don't know, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce type thing. And she was like, "Oh my God, I would go to that show just for that reading."
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
It's crazy that it all worked out. I will point out just real quick, Robert Sean Leonard was hilarious. You wouldn't think that he'd be the funniest person in it, but everything that he did cracked me up. He read from Ryan Seacrest and made that funny. There was
It was Tim, the guy who was in Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor.
Tim Burton? No,
Robert
Richard Burton.
Richard Burton.
So surprisingly, I loved Mario Cantone.
Yeah. He did some really good impersonations. I didn't realize he did impersonations.
Really hilarious. He read from Carol Channing's thing about the whole
Mikey Day from SNL.
Oh
was
yeah,
there too.
yeah. Mikey Day was
Forgot about
good.
him.
He read from
Sandy, the dog from Annie. I did not know had an autobiography.
Yeah, he's like, this is a real book that exists in our world. And then like the guy listing foods, he listed like all the people that pet him backstage. Hilarious. Just really good. I wasn't really ever a fan of Mario Cantone, but he's just great. And his whole Carol Channing hating on Barbra Streisand, was hilarious. Because they were like, met Barbra Streisand, best friends. Barbra Streisand got cast in Funny Girl, Hater, or something like that. Oh no,
it was Hello
Dolly.
Because she did Hello Dolly on Broadway, and she wanted the movie, and Barbra Streisand got the movie, and then she was like, "We're not friends anymore."
I'll tell you, this show could make me poor. They have different casts all the time. I assume reading from different autobiographies and different stories. I could go every day and see this. I really loved the show. It was really great.
Yeah.
And then we went and saw a movie.
Oh yes. Tell them how you became an AMC A-list member.
I did. I became an AMC A-list member because Jeremy and I talked about going to see Masters of the Universe. Dylan had to work, so I was like, "Oh, I'll go with you." So I go to buy a ticket, and the ticket was like $33 to buy a ticket.
The tickets in New York City are $5 more than the monthly fee for AMC A-List, where you get 4 movies a week.
Right. So
that is crazy to me.
It's crazy. I was like, this is absurd. Plus, you get like, the fancy fast pass lane to go get your concessions.
And I learned this because it's my birth month. You get a free popcorn every time you go to the movies. Your birth month.
Every time, not just the one.
I've gone twice and I got free popcorn both times. So I don't know if it's like she just screwed up the second time, but I'm going to the movie. We're going to the movies this Friday for my birthday, and we'll try it out again.
That is true. So everyone, Jeremy and I are going to the movies on his birthday. Everyone, please be on your best behavior.
Yes, please.
But
we saw Masters
of the Universe. 10 years
Universe.
since we've done that, and it didn't.
Oh my God, it has. Whoa.
Yeah.
Amazing. I know you liked it. I loved it. Thought it was great.
It was really good.
Yeah, they lean into the goofy, cheesy humor of the TV show. For those who used to watch the show as a kid, you're kind of in our age group, and He-Man was the thing. At the end of every episode, they do that public service announcement where they're like, "What we learned in this episode." They do it at the end of the movie, which cracked me up. I thought that was amazing.
It was cute. And I'm glad that and Ryan said something today that made sense, because I was annoyed that Orko wasn't in it.
Yeah.
But he said they probably just didn't want to invest all that money into CGI until they saw how it was going to do. So I bet in the next movie he has a bigger part.
Yeah, because this already cost them almost $200 million to make.
Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah. And then I stayed for a double feature. I saw the reboot of Scary Movie, and I was so disappointed. So I wanted it to be good, and it was not good. So
that sucks. I do want to point out about Masters of the Universe. When the movie was over and we were leaving, I did not know this until I got home and turned on New York 1. But apparently this squall line with 60-mile-an-hour winds came through Manhattan, the second I stepped into the streets because it was great. I was taking a picture because the sky looked like it does in Ghostbusters, and I was sending it to Jen, and then all of a sudden, like everyone starts grabbing their eyes because there's all this dirt flying around in people's eyes, nobody can see, and everybody's running. And I get to the corner of the movie theater, and you start to hear this like and I look over and this tree just kind of got lifted up and like thrown onto these cars. And this security guard was out there with me and he was like, "Oh, I hope everyone's okay." I was like, "I hope I'm okay." And I started running like everybody else to get to the subway. I made the mistake of wanting to run down to 72nd Street instead of the one that was just like a block behind me. But anyway, I made it, obviously. But it's crazy. It was a good week. It was a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Busy week.
But we're gonna bring Danny on. He is in the waiting room. We're gonna bring him on because it was a huge week in Central Florida, and Danny did a lot of stuff. And so we just want to have him come on and talk a little bit about what those events were and what was going on. For those that aren't aware, you can bring him in. Danny Garcia is our sales director at Watermark. He is the president of the LGBT plus Center of Central Florida, and he is now on your screen. So welcome to the podcast, Danny.
Hi.
Hey,
Good to be
Danny.
here. Hey, Jeremy. Long time no see. Well, in
I
person.
know. I was talking to Rick. I was like, it's been 1 year since I've seen you all.
I know.
You know, and I was thinking of saying to you at that moment, like, it's been a year since you've seen Danny, but Danny is like totally caught up on your life because he watches the podcast. So,
Oh, you listen to the podcast?
so to him,
thank
you
you.
haven't missed a day.
To
so-
him, it's like he saw me
I'm,
yesterday.
as Rick would say, one of your intensive fans.
Aw, thanks.
That's more than I said today because I
He
said
ones
ones
and
and
ones.
ones of people.
Ones and ones.
Good time. So it was a really big week.
It was.
In Central Florida. So that's why I wanted to bring you on here to talk about it because we've been up here basking in the glory of $30 movies. So tell us.
$30 movies in New York City homeless shelters.
Do you
What
know?
a week.
Do you know it's only like it only costs $10 more or $15 more to go to those Broadway shows that we were just talking about than it did
Yeah,
to go to
with
see
the
Masters of the
TKTS
Universe.
tickets, yeah.
Wow.
With it, yeah. So anyway, you'll hear all about it, Danny, when you go back and listen to all this. So just start with your week. Run down the
Yeah,
list. What was going on?
So I'm going to go a little further back because I had the opportunity to attend the Orlando Pride soccer game with
Ooh.
the ladies soccer, which was a lot of fun. George from the center was being like invited. They were presenting a check for him, and then they
Ooh.
were doing this release where they had
How much?
20,000.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And they had this thing where they've been teasing it, like they're showing different people in the community featuring the jersey that they were using to help raise money for the center. And George was one of the people featured. Patty Sheehan, my friend Bootsy, I just forgot her name. I think it's Ashley. She's a graphic designer from UCF, and Tatiana Kuroga.
Oh nice.
Oh,
Yeah, so like we didn't know. Oh, and Trina, and we didn't know who was going to be featured. So like as the door would open, it was like, oh my gosh, there they are. Oh, and Patty, I forgot to mention Patty too. So and it was cool because
It'd be funny too. It'd be funny if they didn't know what was going on, and they're just like stand here, and then the door opens, and there's like a stadium full of people.
They didn't know who else was like, one of these recipients. So it was kind of cool to see them all interact and like. It reminded me, Jeremy, of the Spider-Man pointing fingers thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. They used to do something like that with I'm super old. Back in the day, they had that show. This Is Your Life,
You are just 15.
and they would bring.
You're
I
only
am
20,
just 25 years from
being
70.
70.
Danny's the same age. Do you know we're only 25 years from being 70 years old?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just got back from my Botox
Yeah, I
appointment,
know,
so-
right? Me neither. Rick's trying to scam me into thinking I'm older than I am. But no, This Is Your Life. They would bring them in and they wouldn't know, and they'd open the doors and their whole family and everybody from their life is sitting there.
Yeah, I
and
don't want
This
that.
is your life. Same thing like that.
Just a quick question about
Yeah.
the game. Did Pride win?
They did win, but we left by then.
Oh, yay.
Oh,
Ah.
so they won. Now let me ask this question. Not that these things are related,
Yeah.
But was Donald Trump at that game?
No, but there was
Oh,
a
and they
thunderstorm
did.
that rolled in.
Okay, so
Fascinating.
Donald Trump not at the Pride game. Orlando Pride wins. Donald Trump
You
was
know-
at the Knicks game, and the Knicks lost.
And then
There's
he's
no
not-
correlation.
That is,
I'm just stating facts. There's
Yeah.
no correlation.
I mean, that sounds scientific to me.
Tracks, it tracks. No, then that Sunday we went to the OGC concert. It was their final show of their fabulous. When
That
we're-
was at Steinmetz, right?
It was. It's such a great venue. And
How does it sound? I mean, it's got to sound great, right?
you know,
I love Steinmetz.
It sounds great. The chorus did a really good job. I mean, it was like the full chorus, and they rotated some of the performers through. And the places, it looked like, I mean, we were sitting, like down orchestra, like towards the front, and it wasn't until like it started that I looked over and I was like, oh my gosh, it's full. Like I didn't expect it to be that full.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
don't remember which magazine it was, but Steinman Hall was named one of the 10 best sounding theaters in America.
I think it's the
like 2 years ago or
yeah,
something.
one
like
of the top two. And
yeah.
I think it's equipped, if I'm not mistaken, with like lasers that adjust the acoustic circle thingies, to help.
There's freaking lasers on their
lasers.
acoustics.
Fire the laser! There's somebody in the background screaming that when the acoustics get back. Fire the laser! I will say that the best note I've ever heard anyone sing was from Brian Stokes Mitchell at Steinmetz. He was saying The Impossible Dream, and at the end of it, it just echoed around. I looked over, and Jen and I were like crying. It was just beautiful. It's so good. Anyway,
seeing the theaters here, because we mentioned earlier we've been in a couple of Broadway shows. One thing that I've noticed, going from Orlando to here, is the theaters are so small here. The theaters in Orlando are just so massive, and so the design put into them, they're just massive, beautiful theaters.
Well, yeah, because you'll get like a couple of performances of a show, so they want as many people to see as possible. They have to be big. Here, but also here they don't give a shit about what's going on outside. Like we went to see Dog Day Afternoon, and I couldn't tell if the sirens were from the outside or part of the show.
Yeah.
But you always feel the subways underneath and all this kind of stuff. It's like, whatever, this is where we are. It's what we got.
It's built-in special effects.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
in the
don't
city.
know if you remember when we watched Death Becomes Her. At one point, I like reached over. I was like, oh, it's just a subway. Like I thought the building was about to collapse.
Yeah.
But
do you know they announced that show's closing in a few
that's
weeks?
disappointing. But it's going to be touring.
That was very disappointing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know how well it's going to tour because I do know they pull back a little bit. Usually what I read is the first US tour is big budget, and then when you see them touring like a second or third year, they've cut back drastically. So
that makes so much sense if you see a touring production of The Lion King now. Like that first year was like, it was amazing.
Well, now I got to go see
Some
Lion
lady
King on
with stick
Broadway because I
puppets.
feel like I got gypped.
You did get gypped. You went and saw the show that we got tickets for everybody. It was not good. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
all right. Well,
I just want to give a shout out to OGC, Orlando Gay Chorus, because we are at the 10-year mark. In just a few days, we'll be at the 10-year mark of Pulse. And in the aftermath of that, OGC sent people to sing at anything that anyone asked them to be at or needed
they
some
were
sort
all
of
over
healing.
the place.
They were just lending their talents out to everyone all the time, and they're a great group. So I'm glad to hear that they're doing well and we're successful.
And I'll tell you,
Jeremy and I talked a lot, so we're gonna push things up.
Oh no, they're good. They're good. Okay. So then, Orlando's Big Gay Weekend was this past weekend, right? So
so exciting!
Oh my
Such a
gosh.
big, all the gays,
all the gays.
one place.
So we had 4 venues, if I'm not mistaken: the Bear Jamboree, One Magical Weekend, Girls in Wonderland, and then Force the Gay Days Host Hotel. And my understanding, I think One Magical Weekend was like sold out, so they had an overflow hotel, which is really cool to hear about.
I know someone who stayed in the overflow.
I saw that friend of yours.
Yes, I saw the photo of that friend.
Pictured with 3 ghosts. So Danny sends me this photo of Jeremy's former roommate at Riptide at One Magical Weekend, and it's so weird because he's like full color, and then there must have been a blue light or something shining on the 3 other people in the photo because they look like pasty white ghosts. It's hilarious.
It looks like Gay Christmas Carol.
They had a bluish tint to them. Yeah, it's like the library.
That's hilarious.
Ghostbuster.
Chris was visited by
The
gaze
three
of
twinks of Christmas past,
Riptide
present, and
past.
future.
Change your ways or forever look like us. No, yeah. So Typhoon Lagoon was really cool. We, I don't know if they've done
God,
this.
it always is.
Well,
Do we have the cabana again?
Yeah, we did. We did. I don't know if you
It was
remember
cool.
last time. Well, I did go last year, but last time we were there, or I was there, they were, I guess, doing some construction. So like our cabana wasn't like a full cabana, but it was like a space. It was really cool because
Mhm.
it just overlooked the lazy river just perfectly.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if they've done this before, but when we were walking in, they asked us if we wanted a photo. And at first we are like, no, no. And somebody goes, not with Mickey. And I was like, wait, the mouse is here?
What?
Yeah.
Mickey was there. That is the first year they've had
That
Mickey.
is.
Yeah.
That
So
is
I,
exciting.
so
What was he
Christian and I got
wearing?
a photo of Mickey, of us.
Was he?
Huh?
Was he in the locker room? Because the last time I was at Riptide in the locker room, I don't know if I want to see Mickey like that.
Mickey was like, Molly, yay.
Party. He was actually the one taking the photo of Chris and the three ghosts.
I knew it.
But no, if I'm not mistaken, I think Caitlin saw Stitch, so they were rotating characters around.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
I'm
What
sorry I
was
missed
the
it.
food situation?
Well, I think it started with veggie spring rolls, and then I think they had something cheeseburger. I don't know. I don't eat meat, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I was leaning in to see you could bring that up. Caitlin mentioned they had cheeseburger egg rolls. I fucking love those things.
Hey, last year we didn't have food, so that was great. They brought you food this year?
We didn't. We had to steal the food from other cabanas.
Oh,
No, we did last year.
We did last year. We did because there was a mix-up and we didn't get our food, so we were.
Oh no,
snacking
we
from
were.
other
They were very generous. We
Yeah.
weren't as big as sponsors last year as we are this year, and they were very kind to just say,
And other
"All right,
cabanas
guys,
were
you can
very
have
nice to
your cabana."
share.
but
Yeah.
it worked out.
no, it was.
Remember those two guys last year that were in our cabana when we got there, and we're like,
Yeah.
"Yes,
They're
that."
like, hi, who
Well,
are
we
you?
didn't- It was funny.
That
Anyway,
always happens though. There's when we
Yeah.
all leave, there's always people just sitting there.
Yeah. How
but
was
I
the
always
turnout?
I love their VIP area there because it's really where
Mhm.
all the locals hang out, and you really just get to see everybody and have a good time. They do such a good job, and the guys that, and I'm not just saying this because they sponsor this podcast, but Autobiography Healthcare, they're just great people. They do great work
Yeah.
for the community, and like I said, they sponsor us, so they sponsor a lot of things, and they now own One Magical Weekend and just have taken it to a great level. They're good people.
No, it's
Yeah.
fun. It's very convenient for them. So we got there like right when they opened the gate. And unfortunately, apparently one of the cast members had a medical emergency right when we got through. So they
Sure.
shut the line down, but we were in and we're like, what's going on? And then I think it was like 30 minutes later, like a rush of people came through. But because the boyfriend and I had the Rainbow Run the next morning, we left early. And it's funny because as I was leaving, I run into Billy and Tom outside, and they're like, "You guys are leaving already?" I said, "At my age, I gotta go. I can't do this late night thing."
Isn't it funny how it used to be? I mean,
Oh.
Yeah.
we used to go to this and stay there until 2 in the
And
morning.
close it out. Yeah.
Hit Taco Bell on the way home, and then be up early at the next event the next day, drink it again. Yeah, I don't drink anymore. I'm old. What do you want from me?
No, I had a
So
couple.
that's great. How was the Rainbow Run?
Gosh, that was actually really good. Surprisingly, the weather, unlike last year, wasn't nearly as hot. And they
Oh,
changed
good.
the route this year, so you still went down Orange Avenue, but at Pulse you turned left and you went over to like the Wadeview Park area, and then you went through the neighborhood and back around. So it was still the full 4.9K as they call it. But thankfully, like the second half, you were in the shaded area with all the trees. I mean, of course, you had the bricks, but that was fine. And it was just the last couple of years, because it's been up and down Orange Avenue, even though they had the people that were cheering you on, you didn't have the neighborhood people, with their little signs, and the kids always like blowing bubbles or handing you like little bracelets and stuff like that. So, my favorite
Yeah.
part was like this 3-year-old saying, "You got this, you can do it." I'm like, I'm just
Oh,
walking
that's
the
cute.
banks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Rainbow Run, but really,
Mm.
it's maybe a brisk walk. Did the route go in front of Pulse?
It did, yeah. And they had
Was that tough?
a gospel choir singing in front of it.
Oh wow,
It was
Oh
that's
really
wow.
cool.
great.
How's it look? Because they started tearing it down, didn't they?
It's gone.
It's
It
gone.
is
It's
just,
gone?
yeah, they
Ah.
have around the vicinity of the property, they have just the the printed material that shows the names and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
When's it supposed to open? Because I know that a certain mayor said before he left office it was going to be open.
Yeah, so they got all next year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be
it's-
before the
they're estimating
end
Time's
of
a ticking.
2027 of next year, but I think they
Oh, okay.
announced at the run that the finalization of the designs were being worked on right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean
maybe I'll come into town for that.
it's elaborate, I think. So I think they need to start soon to get it
Yeah.
done. But I think they will. I mean, the city's taken this project on. The city now does the Rainbow Run, and I think it's great. It's good. All
You
good
know,
stuff.
Well, I mean, if Universal and Disney can throw a ride up in a year, I'm sure the city of Orlando can
Yeah.
certainly put up a
They got
memorial.
good construction workers out there.
Right, yeah.
Not like here where they put scaffolding around a building and leave it there for 30 years.
I thought the scaffolding was part of the building for years. All of my visits
I think
to New York.
for some of them it
Yeah.
is. That's the new skyline scaffolding.
But then so part of the weekend I got to attend the Mr. Gay Day's Other again.
Ooh, how
I heard
was
about that.
It was interesting. They had one contestant. One contestant. And
But it was interesting because there were 5 judges, so it's
6. No, I'm joking. 5. No, there were 5. But if I'm not mistaken, it was 6 drag performers in between.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I found it funny because I reached out to one of my contacts there and I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, because it was my last day covering things. I was like, how many contestants do you have? Like, what should I expect? He goes, well, we have one right now. I was like, oh, okay. Do you expect more? He goes, even if we don't, it's going to be a tight 1 hour, I promise. I was like, that's still a lot for one person.
It's a tight 1 hour for the one
person.
person
So
competition.
The way they do it though is they do 3 separate like categories. You know, one is a question and answer. The other one's like a presentation. I'm boring Rick apparently.
Oh, you'll get used to it. When you're doing the podcast, you'll be talking and he's got a million things going on and he'll get distracted for a second. Just keep talking. He'll come back around.
as long as I'm not talking, nobody sees me.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, I didn't know.
So so they don't even know. But
We'd explain the process to you.
Look, I own a business. I get a million messages. At least this one didn't
Listen,
distract me
I
to
am
the
really-
point where I couldn't do
I am
anything else.
super popular and
important.
people are always hitting me up.
Madonna was just inviting me back to Macy's tonight. So
That bitch.
Oh.
That's the second invite I didn't get.
Oh. No, but basically he had to go through the whole process to qualify by obtaining a minimum of 70 points. He scored, I think, an 89.9.
How embarrassing if you're the only contestant and they're like, sorry, you didn't make it.
I'm
Not
not gonna
enough
lie,
points, sorry.
I was this close to get up there myself just for the fun of it.
Yeah, you should have. You and Christian, you should have throw your cats in the ring.
Oh my God.
I meant hats, but I was
say
saying
cats?
I said cats. I was gonna say hats, but the
Oh, that's like
came
Girls
out in the
Wonderland,
beginning.
Jeremy.
Oh.
There are cats in there.
Ugh.
Ah.
Speaking of cats and Girls in Wonderland, did they have the muffin eating contest still?
Caitlin is
I
nodding
see a nod
yes.
from Caitlin. They still got it. Yeah.
The Caitlin, did you enter?
I love the muffin eating contest.
Blueberry or banana walnut?
I think it is hilarious. I like lemon poppy seed.
Ooh.
So thumbs up, Caitlin. You went to Gay Day at Disney, right? So Caitlin
went to
covered
Gay Day at Disney, yeah.
at Disney, and just real quick, I know nobody can hear you, so I'm just going to relay what you say. Thumbs up or down? Was it cool? It was good.
Was it well attended?
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
attend-
I know
Lots
that
of red shirts.
I know Jen and her sister were there, and I was like, I bet everybody was like, look at that lesbian couple. They look like even lesbians look alike when they've been married for a long time. I'm sure that's what happened.
Yeah.
I always miss
Listen, my favorite
Yeah.
my favorite Gay Day
they're
at Disney
newlyweds.
story.
You gotta give them a minute.
Oh, that's
True. My favorite Gay Day at Disney story doesn't have anything to do with like working at Watermark, but it was the year before I started at Watermark. My sister and her family came into town and they wanted to go to Disney for the first time. And it was during Gay Day weekend. And my cousin wanted to come. And he had a Jersey Shore shirt on that happened to be red. And it said, because fist pumping is a thing from the show. It said fist pumping for life. And I said, you may want to rethink that shirt today.
That's hilarious. Also, it reminds me of Masters of the Universe when he kept calling that guy Fisto.
Fister.
'Cause you
Oh,
fist people.
'Cause you
because
could-
he fists people.
great thing.
Anyway, I know that the Sunday for One Magic Weekend they changed the theme. What was the party? Because they change the party up every year. What was the Sunday party?
That was the Ariana Grande one. Night of 1,000 Arianas.
They pulled the
which-
ponytails out. I knew they would recycle those
which
ponytails
which
eventually.
one was Chris?
Oh, I
Which
can tell you right
Ariana was
now,
Chris?
he is the wicked Chris.
The
Wicked Chris.
Oh. Your mom's listening to the podcast right now, shaking her head. Yes.
Mhm,
Oh,
mhm.
Jeremy, I'm not sure.
Look,
if
and
you
I'm
Fuck that
Glenda
guy.
because I'm Glenda, the good witch, because I'm wearing pink.
I'm not sure if you spoke to Chris when you got back, but I get a message.
I haven't talked to Chris in a week.
Oh, okay.
Since he made you home. No, that's not true. He called you the other day and said this was a mistake.
He drunk called me from one of the parties, and he's like, "Sorry, this was a mistake. I didn't mean to call you." And I was like, "Whatever, dude. Enjoy Florida."
No,
He has no idea that I'm even staying with you. He thinks I'm
Oh,
still
really?
in a homeless shelter somewhere, and that motherfucker hasn't called me once.
Yeah,
Anyway, this is not the time or place. Continue.
Oh
Danny.
no. I'll read you the text message exchange that I had with him on Saturday afternoon. Are you doing the
He'll
pool
love
party
that.
today?
He will. He loves when we talk about him on the podcast.
I said, I'm heading there now. Nice. Then I reply back, LOL, sorry, but who is this? He wrote back, Chris. I said, well, that narrows it down to about every other gay guy. Which Chris?
Chris is a popular gay name.
Jeremy's, Water, Space, Mark, Chris. Oh, hey.
Yeah, that sounds about
That was
right.
it.
And then he replied, Molly, yay.
Yeah, right.
Yay!
But seriously, I mean, come on. It's like every other gay guy's named Chris.
Is there any
Yeah,
other?
I thought it was funny because there's really quick. There's a line in Steel Magnolias when they're talking about how every gay man has track lighting, and every gay man is named either Mark, Rick, or Steve. And when I started at Watermark, there was a Mark, a Rick, and a Steve, and it cracked me up. I called my mom that day, and I was like, "You're not gonna believe this."
It takes you 25 years to get to 70. For the last 25 years, anybody who could say when I started at Watermark, there was a Rick. That makes me sad. That makes me feel old.
Sorry.
So I just want to say real quick that I hear that Girls in Wonderland was a hit, like it always is.
It
It's
always
really
is.
Packed.
They
It's good
always
for
sell out
them.
before all the other groups sell out.
So good on them. Great time. We should have probably had Bellamy come on or Caitlin and talk about all those crazy things. But is there anything else that you want to hit on real quick?
Yeah, one last thing. On that Saturday when I was going to the Gay Days Hotel to take photos at the Mr. Gay Days Leather, in between the pool party and that, we got hungry, so we stopped right across the street at Old Town to Hamburger Mary's, which is now open.
Yes.
Oh, they're open?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
good for
opened in Old
them.
Town.
Yeah, it's a huge
Nice.
space, big stage.
I'll be honest, I love Old Town. I think it's a cool spot.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
I do. I like Old Town.
I used to go there all the time with my parents when I was in high school, and we'd go to like the old car shows and stuff. It was really cool.
Still there.
Danny's experience, not something that I would.
Oh,
think is
no.
cool.
When I was a kid, we used to go and we would do the music videos where you record and then you make the music videos. We used to make those all the time.
Yeah, Danny's plus one started a fight in the parking lot. It was crazy.
Oh, Danny.
That's
What did
another
you
story
do?
for another day. But no, space is great. They're I gotta look at if they're. Well, I mean, obviously, I looked at their menu because they're serving. But I was talking to John, one of the owners, and he had mentioned how the menu's going to be expanded shortly. They're like, this is just their like opening menu, and then they're gonna eventually have a much larger menu like they used to. So apparently they've got their regulars now. That he pointed out a group of people that had been there for 5 days straight since they've opened. Well, 5 days gay, I should say.
All right.
But yeah, no, they're booking out like crazy. So if you guys are in the area, check it out.
Well, good for them.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good for them.
I'm there like that next week or the week after. Before I head over to St. Pete for St. Pete Pride, I'm gonna definitely go check it out. because I won't have a husband or dogs to worry about, so I'll just go do
Oh,
everything.
I was gonna save it for after the podcast, but I'm like, do you need a house sitter for that week?
Sure,
I'm
if you
here.
well, we do for that one day in July.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
right. That's right. Yeah.
but yeah, so thanks so much for coming on.
course.
We'll have you back on regularly to talk about the things that you're doing,
So
Yeah.
because it's important to keep everyone abreast of what's going on in Central Florida.
there's so much to do. So
There is.
yeah,
Awesome. Thanks.
my pleasure. You guys enjoy. Bye.
Good. Yep. Bye, Danny. That
Let's
was
just
nice
hope
to
somebody
see him
told him not
again.
to not to get out of the thing until his stuff was fully uploaded.
Text him, Caitlin, quickly, quickly.
All right, so we want to talk about the Tonys. We're gonna do this in less than 20 minutes.
Rapidly. Yes.
But I am gonna do this sort of annoying thing where I'm gonna read the winners, right? Because I watched Act One, right? And in Act One, is Dylan back?
Yeah, he just walked in.
How did he get in?
Oh, good question.
So here we go. So we're gonna run through these real quick. Best book of a musical. Well, they only give best book to musicals. Went to Shmigadoon, which we have
Shmigadoon.
yet to see. Best costumes
it.
for a play went to Jeff Mashie for Fallen Angels. I definitely wanted to see
for a
that because that
play,
looks
yeah.
really good. Costumes
I
for a
also
musical.
love Rose Byrne.
Yeah,
I love
I
her,
love
yeah.
her. Everything she does, which is like a surprising thing. That
And
she
she's
turned out
married
to
to
be.
that guy, the third one from Art. I always forget his name, but not Neil Patrick Harrison, not
Oh,
James
the other
Corden.
guy. Oh, really?
The other guy. Yeah, they're married. Yeah.
He played someone's boyfriend in some.
Will in Will and Grace.
Oh, Will and Grace, yeah.
Mhm.
Best costumes for a musical went to Queen Jean for Cats.
The first trans person to win a Tony. A lot of people were arguing on TikTok and Instagram that the two performers, which escape my mind, their names escape my mind, but the one from Some Like It Hot and from Corn, is that what it was called? Corn?
Oh,
Kernel? Shocked.
Shocked. And Alex.
But they're non-binary.
Oh, okay.
So the costumer is the first trans person to win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Best orchestration, Shmigadoon.
Shmigadoon.
That's where I made the note. There seems to be a lot of gay men with wives.
Yeah.
Lifetime Achievement Award went to Andre Bishop, who I think was a producer or director. I don't remember. Regional Theater Award went to a theater in Wisconsin. So quick shout out to them. Best sound for a play, Death of a Salesman.
Yeah.
Mikhail Samela. Sound design for a musical went to Ragtime, which was the
Ragtime.
first of like every time Ragtime's in something, you're gonna hear that word a lot. Then we've got original score went to Shmigadoon. Mary Mitchell Campbell got best director. Did we know what that was for? No. Oh no,
Mary
that
Mi-
was a special award. She was a director who got a special award.
Yeah.
Best lighting for a play went to Jack Knowles for Death of a Salesman. Best lighting for a musical went to the guy who did The Lost Boys, who is gay. So congratulations to him. Lost Boys lighting, that was great. Definitely deserved that. Best scenic design of a play went to Chloe, I didn't get her last name, for Death of a Salesman, which was an interesting take because it took place in like an abandoned subway and there was dirt everywhere. So it was an interesting thing. Best scene design for a musical, 100% should have won The Lost Boys. If you see the show, the set is phenomenal. It's like 3 stories tall. An entire house comes out of the ceiling.
That's above everything. All I hear about is the set of The Lost Boys from everybody who sees this
really
show.
Great. The set's great, and actually the music is really great too, and the harmonies and towards the end of it really great. Best choreography went to the Cats people.
Yep, the Cats, the Genical Ball. They also won Best Director in a Musical.
Yes. Yeah. They were great. I have some note here. Sometimes I write things and like I'm typing fast on my phone and it puts all these words together. I have no idea what this word is. It has something to do with strangers carrying a cake, but there must have been something about strangers carrying a cake that happened, that cracked me up, before the show started. Because here we go. We're at the start of the real show now. The Tonys have
Yes.
started, and Pink comes out and does her opening number. What did you think?
I loved it. And I mentioned this, and I just want to say, because this happened 2 days ago, when it was happening, I mentioned that this reminded me a lot of when Neil Patrick Harris hosted, because he too had all the characters from all the shows from that season on, and that's what Pink did. And then later that night, we were watching New York One on Spectrum, and he commented, he's like, "It was just like when Neil Patrick Harris did it." And I said, "I said it first. I don't want to think. I don't want him thinking, if he's listening to this, that I copied him. I said it when it happened." Anyway, I loved it. I thought the opening was fantastic. I love when they incorporate all the different shows
Yeah.
from the season. Yeah,
Yeah, I always
really liked
loved
it.
I always loved it when Billy Crystal would sing a song and incorporate everything,
Yes.
and that was really cool. But this is a step above that when it's everything in there. I'll
Yeah.
say, all in all, I think Pink was great.
I did
There's
too.
just one
It was
thing.
a parody of the opening, really quick, was a parody of Moulin Rouge.
Yes.
The Lady Marmalade, that the song she did for Moulin Rouge, and where she sung about all the different shows. I thought it was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
but it was really a tribute to the leading ladies of Broadway, because it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
leading
It
lady
was a focus on the
Marmalade.
lady. Yeah.
So it was really good. The only thing I will say is there seemed to be this shtick the whole show of like people giving advice to Pink on how to host the Tonys because she's not a Broadway person.
Yeah,
I'm like
there
that.
was this whole,
They didn't
why
need
is
any
she
of that.
doing it? No.
You
I
don't
think
need a reason. You're Pink. You're like you're out like you're
also,
an incredible
her songs
talent.
are featured in Moulin Rouge and Juliet.
Right,
So that's
and she's saying the song from Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman.
A
And
Million
her
Dreams.
kid is a huge theater kid.
Right.
So, you don't need to
And her
don't
kid
need to
is
justify
trans, right? Is her kid
Yeah,
trans? So
I believe so. You
so
don't need
there
to
you go.
justify why
You-
you're there, Pink. You deserve that
right.
space.
I mean,
you
if it
do it.
maybe it's just because Neil Patrick Harris needed something to do, so they were
You
like,
go, girl.
yeah.
they
So,
say.
but I thought
I'll
she did
wag
great
my
when she
finger.
sang in Chicago. I'm sure it'll pop up later. She was great.
Yeah.
Funniest bit, or like, the Tonys they don't do bits all the time, but
No,
they try, I
no.
guess. Paul Rudd's bit
Not a
was
lot of
terrible,
banter. Yeah.
but Cole and Maya were hilarious.
Oh my God, they were hilarious.
Yeah. So then we got we gotta run through this because
Yeah.
we've got like 13 minutes. Lead actor in a play did go to John Lithgow. He was
Yes, he did.
amazing, and
Yeah.
so he did deserve that. Then Shmigadoon did a performance, and I got to be honest, it didn't make me want to see the show.
Yeah, I didn't.
I mean, I want to see it because
I've
the
seen
concept
I've seen
is
a
good.
few episodes of the show, because obviously this was a show on
Yeah.
Apple TV and got canceled after 2 seasons. I saw a couple of the episodes of the show that were really good. That makes me want to see this, but that song did not sell it.
Nah,
for me.
it did not sell it. Then there was something about the Ballisters. For the plays, they just showed a little bit about the plays. I'd see
Yeah.
the Ballisters. That looked good.
Yeah, I want to say really quick, because they used to do this back in the 80s. The way they do with musical numbers, they would do a scene from the best plays of the year. They would show them, and I think they should bring that back, because I thought that was such a great idea back when they did that in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. They
If
should
you're
do that.
listening, Tonys, I
Yeah.
know we share the same storage unit, so
Hey,
I know you're
Tony.
listening.
Listen, Tony. So we got featured actress in a play. Obviously, for anybody that's seen it, it went to Laurie Metcalf for
For
Death
Death of a Salesman. Yep.
Phenomenal.
So
Then-
good that her line is above the freaking theater. Attention must be paid.
yeah, she's
She
great.
says it like 100 times in the show, and it's above the theater marquee.
Then Ragtime came out and performed. Great, great show.
Fantastic. It makes me want to see the show. That's what these are supposed to be. They're supposed to be musical numbers that make you think,
Yeah.
oh, I need to see that show.
And a lot of them made me want to see it, except Shmigadoon. Then they did a thing about Giant. Giant was good. Best direction of a musical. This was a surprise, right? It went
Yeah.
to Cats.
Cat's the Jellicle Ball.
Yeah,
The Jellicle Ball.
I know I'm gonna lose my gay card. That's just there's still nothing. I'm still not interested in
Yeah.
seeing Cats.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to their performance.
Yeah. Best direction of a play went to Death of a Salesman.
Yep. Well
Um,
deserved.
Then Titanic did a performance.
Okay.
And I have
Yeah.
to tell you,
We need
you
to
know
talk
what?
about that.
Titanic is at TDF, and I almost want to find a time. I'm going to buy your ticket, and we're going to go see it because it's a great show. It did not translate to
No,
the stage.
I don't know if it was the sound and I asked you this, but I don't know if you answered. If it's supposed to for the show, they all were very pitchy and sounded terrible. I don't know if that's supposed to be kind of
No.
like it's our
They all
Titanic
sound really,
thing.
really good. In fact, the lead, Celine, is really good, and
Yeah.
she sounded terrible. It's almost
Yeah.
like the audio was pulling just the vocals and not the rest of the sound. It was not
Yeah,
good.
it sounded awful.
I think somebody hit a
I felt
cameraman, and
bad
then it
for
just
them.
went nuts
Yeah.
after that.
I felt bad for them.
Yeah, I wrote that again. The whole advice thing was dumb. Best best actress in a musical. I wish that you could see what this note is. I'm going to show you afterwards since you're just in the other room, but it's hilarious. Went to Shoshana Bean.
Oh yeah, featured actress Shoshana Bean for The Lost Boys.
For the Lost Boys.
Yep.
Great. Then Cats did their performance.
Okay, before this started, I was like, you know what? The whole concept of Cats being a ballroom competition, I was like, that sounds interesting because I love the music of Cats. I don't like the show of Cats. So them revamping it like this, I was really interested. And then I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm good.
No,
I'll
it's
just
just
listen
not
to
for
the
me.
album.
It's just
No.
not for me. It's great. I understand that ballroom is very important to our community and absolutely deserves all the flowers that it can get. It's just not my cup
Yeah.
of tea.
And the same thing, the performance, it reminded me of Titanic. It seemed all over the place and
Yeah.
it seemed very pitchy. And I was just like, I think there was something going on with the sound that
Yeah.
night at Radio City Music Hall.
So then they gave out the award for best new play, right? That went to Liberation.
Yep, which I've heard
Um,
good things about.
Yeah. And then there was a performance from two strangers carrying a cake across New
Okay,
York.
this contradicts what I just said because they sounded phenomenal.
Right.
This made me want to see this show.
That guy who stars in this show is the most endearing character in
they
any
both
show.
were very charming and very cute, and
Yeah.
like I was like smitten with both of them. I was like, I want to see this show.
It's a
This looks
really
really
good show.
cute.
You should see
Yeah.
it for sure. They made us some announcement. Somebody came out and said that 15 million people came to Broadway to see shows, and I just made the note that I probably
Was a million of
I'm
them?
probably a million of this.
You probably you saw a lot of shows.
I
this
saw a
year.
lot of shows. Featured actor in a musical. Went to the guy who played the Kiefer Sutherland role from The Lost Boys.
Yes. Can
He's
I
very
just
good.
say, because during his performance he wears the blonde wig and he looks just like Robert, like a young Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And out of the wig when he won the award, both very cute,
Yeah.
very handsome.
Yes.
Very attractive.
Then there was a Chicago tribute.
Yep.
Alex
30 years since
Jewell
it had its reboot. Very nice.
saying it was really good. Lead actress in a play went to Leslie Manville for Oedipus, which I always thought was Oedipus, but they kept calling it Oedipus on the Tonys.
I know, but they're wrong.
I
know
know.
that they're in the show, and I know that they made the money.
I
but
thought
they're
maybe
wrong.
it was in honor
It's
of Girls in
Oedipus.
Wonderland that they were
Oedipus
saying.
just sounds disturbing.
I know, that's what my joke was. Then they did a performance of Rocky Horror, which I've been dead set
Okay.
against seeing, but Luke,
Yes.
what's his name?
Luke Evans.
Luke Evans was fucking great.
He's so phenomenal. And I differ from you where I love Rocky Horror. And I was concerned with how this performance be, but he's fantastic. He kind of looks with the mustache and long hair. He looks like the Count from Nosferatu that came out last year. Just not gross and rotting.
Also, if you can see the show and look at anything other than his penis, then good for you.
Holy crap, that package.
It's just, and it's
That
there. You see
and that
you
ass.
see it.
That
You
ass.
just see it.
That package.
And then that
ass.
Rocky is like ripped.
Oh, the Rock. I want to go see this.
Yeah.
I want to
I
go
mean,
see
I
this.
might. I don't know.
Yeah.
Revival of a musical went to Ragtime.
Yeah, of course.
And then what did you think of this? They did their in memoriam, and Leslie Odom Jr. came out and sang "Without You" from Rent, and I thought his version of it was beautiful.
I thought it was fine. You know how I am. I'm very particular about how I want my in memoriams.
Yeah,
And this was okay. This was okay.
yeah.
But apparently it's also the 30th anniversary of Rent.
Yeah,
Is what
so
it says on
yeah.
Wikipedia.
Yes, it is the 30th anniversary. There's a huge concert
Yeah.
going on. It's sold out immediately. It's like tickets were outrageously expensive. I wish I could get
Oh,
in to
okay.
go see it.
So that's probably why
Anyone
they sung it.
listening, Anthony Rapp,
Come
please call
on!
me. Let me in.
Come on!
So then featured actor in a
Give us
play went to
tickets!
Alden Aaronworth
Oh,
or
from
Becky Shaw.
Becky Shaw. Yeah,
I
I
do
have
wanna
not
see
heard
that.
nothing about this show, but now I want to see it after I saw the clip.
We almost went to see it one day when they didn't have The Death of a Salesman at TKTS. We almost went to see
Yeah.
Becky Shaw, but then it was like in the mezzanine, so we're like, no. And then the Lost Boys did their performance. I thought that was really good. Um,
Yeah,
best revival of a play went to Death of a Salesman,
of
which
course.
absolutely deserved and was great. And they
Yep.
let
Nathan
Lane
speak. Yeah.
which is great. I think he was just either he's just so a method actor and in character, or he was just
Yeah.
really distraught he didn't win. But there was not a
Yeah.
lot of joy exuding from him.
No, he seemed like there was something weighing on his mind. I feel like he got bad news before the show
Yeah,
started.
right. And then I said Minnie Nicole Schlesinger was good. I said Minnie Nicole Schlesinger because she's going to be in the Evita, and they're destroying Evita like they
Oh,
destroyed
Rachel
Sunset Boulevard.
Zegler. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rachel Zegler came out and
She's
said
saying "What I Did for Love" from
Yeah.
a chorus line, which I thought she was really good.
she has such a great voice, and I'm gonna hate
Yeah.
Evita, but it's just how do you take these elaborate shows and then
and then
rip everything
strip
away
them down like that. Yeah.
to nothing?
Yeah.
Um,
The Book of Mormon's 15th anniversary.
oh
the
yeah,
original cast
that was
is back.
great.
Love them.
That was great.
They sung
Um,
"Man Up," which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah.
Lead actress in a musical went to Cassie Levy for Ragtime. She played Mother in
Yep.
Ragtime. She was the original Elsa. She had a good speech. I did like her speech.
Yeah.
Um, that
Both of the Ragtime
yeah.
actors,
good
lead actors,
speeches
had good
were
speeches.
were almost non-existent in the
Yeah.
Tonys.
You know my feelings on
Yeah.
It's not a good speech if you have to read it from a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Speak from the heart. You're an
Right.
actor.
Speak from the
Memorize
heart.
it. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lead actor in a musical went to Joshua Henry for
Yep.
Ragtime, who plays Cole House.
Yeah.
And then best musical went to Shmigadoon.
Shmigadoon.
Which I'm gonna see it. I guess it's just
Yeah. I realize looking at the list now, I have not seen a single nominee for best musical, or best play.
Well, you should check out.
I saw some of the revivals.
We should check out TDF, and if there's something you want to see, I mean, I'll see anything. So I'll go see a
Yeah.
show again. If you want to.
Will you see Paranormal Activity in August with me?
Look, I already have to go see this gay horror movie Leviticus that's coming out. Like, why?
For those who don't
And-
know, Paranormal Activity is being turned into a Broadway show and brought to Broadway. It's in August. I can't believe it. I'm so happy to see it.
Paranormal Activity is why I can't sleep in a room by myself. Like,
Yeah.
that is like ghost killing you asleep is death to me, and to
I gotcha.
make me sit in a room where it's happening.
I'm just curious what a stage performance
I
of that is
know,
going
I
to
mean,
look
I'm not-
like. And I'm intrigued.
I'll go. See
I'll
it.
tell you about
I'll
it,
go
and then
see
I'll
it
let
with
you
you.
know if it's too scary.
But speaking of
Please
seeing
cover your
stuff,
eyes.
we are
Yeah.
going to see. I'm so excited about this. We're covering this for next week. We're going to see Stop That Train.
Yes.
Ginger Minch and every. I hear like celebrities were begging to be in the show. That's
Yeah,
why there's so
They
many
have a whole
cameos.
list. They had to turn people away. So many
Yeah.
people want to be in this movie.
So it's very exciting.
And then I'm going to do a double feature. I'm doing. Oh, you're doing it with me.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
Yeah, we're
And
doing it.
Disclosure Day, the new Spielberg movie on
Yeah.
my birthday.
So we'll be talking about those.
Um,
Sorry for the long podcast. We just had so many things to talk
Yeah.
about, and we definitely wanted to
So
bring Danny on.
much.
So I hope you enjoyed
Yes.
his little shtick. He'll
He
probably
might be back next week. Somebody
see.
else might be.
Somebody,
We'll
you never
see.
know. But
You never know. But you tried to take my line?
Oh my
Until
God.
then, the cork is back in the bottle.